Hello, Pamela. How are you? I don't know if you can see the material, but I don't seem to be able to make it any larger. I wish I could. It's not my material. This is my material right here. Well, maybe that's a little bit better. Material right here. How's that? No material seen. Can you see the material? No? Okay, good. Are we okay? Are we ready to begin? Just want to make sure that that I'm doing everything all right here. Am I wrong? But it's just you and I. Is that correct? Not that I have any problem with that whatsoever. I just want to make sure that I'm following this all right. Well, okay. Well, let us go back to the beginning. We're on Likutey Moharan. Right over here at the very beginning. Tiku b'chodesh shofar b'kesel yom chagenu. That's what begins. All right. I'm going to go over it again. We had from last week. I believe that we mistakenly announced this class for Tuesday, so I think it may be in the wrong ballpark altogether. Am I right, Pamela? Just want to make sure that I believe I'm on the right night, but I'm not exactly sure. Okay, good. It shows Monday. Good. Last week I think it showed Tuesday, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. Okay, let's go to Likutey Moharan. Okay, Ki Isha Yisraeli Nivro. Okay, the Jew was created, says Rebbe Nachman, Sheyelo Memshala al Hamalachim, in order that he have Memshala. Memshala is rulership, the dominion over the Malachim. It says V'zetachlis v'hasof. It's the tachlis and the sof shel Yisrael. In other words, the purpose and the end. The purpose and the end. The end, the sof, as the translator has rendered it, the destiny, is a good translation. So in other words, the purpose, the notion of a tachlis has a concept of a beginning, in terms of an a priori purpose, a priori before everything, the notion of the tachlis, and then the sof, the end at the very, very end. So there's this notion, there's a primordial notion of tachlis, of the purpose of creation, the purpose of creation of all mankind, the purpose of creation of all of the world, of all of the universe, is of course man. The purpose of man is the Jew, is the centerpiece of that. And the purpose of the Jew, says Reb Nachman, is to have memshalah, over the Malachim. So that seems to be, that's the purpose of the entire creation, is exactly this. So it's the purpose and it's the destiny. And there's a concept of the destiny is a notion, something in the future. So you have an a priori beginning, and then you have an a posteriori end, something which is after the fact. The tachlis and the sof. Kemosha Omer Chazal, Asidin Tzadikim Shem Chitzosan Lifnim B'Malachei Hashores. In other words, in the future, not meaning in the world to come, the tzaddikim will have a closer. In other words, they'll have more of a ringside seat to everything than even the Malachei Hashores, the administering angels. Shenemar Ka'esi Omer Yaakov L'Yisrael Ma Po'al El, Ma Po'al El. There will be a time. There will come a point when it will be said to Yaakov and to Israel. In other words, that the angels themselves will inquire of Israel, Ma Po'al El, Ma Po'al El. What has God done? What is God doing? All of that. The concept of Ma, which I'm going to get into in 1 second, because it's a very, very important concept in this entire Torah. Shehamalochim yitztorchu lishol miYisrael k'shiyirtzu leda ma po'al el. It will be. I'm on the next page. Excuse me, I've gone a little bit further over here. We're right down to this point. Right over here, Pamela, right there. Ma po'el. It will be that the Malachim will have to inquire of Israel, what has God done? What is God doing? Okay, now there's an interesting idea that lies behind this entire Torah, and it's the concept of Ma. The concept of Ma. Ma, of course, is the word means what or how, as the case may be. It's a type of interrogatory. Okay, but in Kabbalah, the concept of Ma is something which is very, very different. The concept of Ma is used in many different ways, and here I'm just referencing from the index of Rav Nosson the usages of Ma. Ma is a concept of bittul, of nullification, via which the light is actually drawn. The concept of the Ma. Ma has an idea of something which is primordial. It has nothing to do with. I mean, it has something to do with the created world, but it is something which precedes that. Is further basic, more fundamental in terms of the building blocks of creation than anything that can be perceived or apprehended by scientists or anything of that sort in the created world. The notion of Ma is the aspect of ayin, of the nothingness, the aspect of the makif. The makif, as you remember, is that which surrounds everything. It's not the concept itself, it's not the knowledge itself, but it's that which is further beyond that, which continuously opens up new vistas of understanding further and further and further back to their ultimate primordial source prior to creation. The concept of Ma Adam Batedoehu. What is man that you should know? Ma is man. Ma is man. Ma is man. That's this idea that man, ultimately, the man who has the dominion over the Malachim, who is beyond the Malachim itself. Adam is the Ma. In other words, that it is the purpose and it is the destiny of the Jew to have dominion over the Malachim, meaning to say that in terms of that which man is capable of reaching, in terms of understanding, in terms of his own epistemology, okay, is greater and further than that of the Malachim themselves, which is going to be the point over here of this particular lesson, if you haven't been able to grasp that, on your own. That's what's interesting also is that the gematria, the numeric value of ma, mem, hey, is 45, mem 40, and hey 5. Adam is aleph 1, dalet 4, 5, and mem, hey 45. There is a numerological equivalence between ma and Adam. On a certain level, ma is Adam. Adam is ma, because it's the purpose and the end. It is the objective and the purpose and the epicenter of all of creation is man, is this ma, this most fundamental of all of the building blocks of creation. And this notion of man ultimately, the Jew ultimately having this memshalah over the malachim is also implicit in the word memshalah. Memshalah. If you go back for a second to memshalah, this word right over here, memshalah, if you take a look at it, it's mem, shin, lamed, hey. So if you take a look at the end letters are mem and hey, which is ma, and the middle letters, mem, shin, lamed, is moshal. In other words, the ruler of ma, the ruler, the controller, the director of ma, of this ultimate, knowledge, of this ultimate fundamental grasp of creation, of that which is not what you would call the most sophisticated science, even beforehand. It's not that which is necessarily in the physical realm of all. The most fundamental of all basic building blocks of creation, primordially speaking, is ma. It is the makif. It's the ayin. It's all of that, and that's directly connected to Adam. Adam. Man is created in order to be the moshel ma. Okay, the one who actually directs and controls ma, that particular thing, which of course is on a higher plane. Right away, this statement of Reb Nachman is already pointing to this epistemological gradation that exists, is that the notion of ma, in terms of a knowledge source, of a knowledge fundamental, okay, is higher than that which even the malachim who are not physical at all, it's even higher than what they are able to grasp, because as it is said over here, I'm trying to get to the next point, that there will come a time when it will be asked, Ka'et Yom El Yaakov El Yisrael, Ma Po'al El. It'll be asked directly to Yaakov and to Israel, Ma Po'al El. Again, there's another play on words. It's not the interrogatory, Ma, what has God done? It's effectively Ma as the noun, Ma Po'al El. There's that ma is what God has wrought, and it is Israel which will understand and know this is the ultimate, the most fundamental of knowledge. That's what this is all about, and that's what this lesson really is all about. The potential that exists within Adam, within man, within the Jew, 45, ma, 45, together. The chachma, the highest levels of the sfirot is made up of two words. Chachma, which is chet, chaf, koach. It's another way to put it is to turn it around and make koach, and then it is ma, the koach of ma, the potential or the force, the power of ma. That's what Chachma ultimately is. That's what Chachma is. Okay? Now, we're over here. V'tzorch kol echad lirot sheyovo l'zeh. Says every person, every Jew must attempt to achieve this ultimate purpose. Sheyelo memshala ala malachim, that he has this memshala over the malachim. See, what Reb Nachman is doing, it sounds like how you're setting up this kind of this competition between man and the malachim. Malachim are forces. They're forces that a Kadosh Baruch Hu uses, emissaries, agents, shluchim. But they're basically they're forces. It's not that they're human. They're not material of anything whatsoever. They don't have wings or anything of that sort. These become the forces that a Kadosh Baruch Hu uses. Okay, and it looks to be that there is this competition, that there's dominion, control given to the Jew, but it doesn't mean that it's given to him. It's that there is the potential within man to effectively be the moshel ma, be the controller over ma, to be able to achieve levels that the malachim cannot even achieve. And we're talking here fundamentally at this particular stage in terms of knowledge, epistemology. Okay, that's what we're really referring to, and that's the dominion, that's the rulership. In other words, that man has the capability of going further than the malachim themselves. How can it be? The malachim are pure spirit. They are pure intellect. They're pure agents of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Yet man has this potential within him to go further than the malachim themselves. This is what Reb Nachman is explaining to us in terms of the concept, ultimately, of what man is. Man has this capability within him of being even greater. And that was what this lesson that I had brought last week, that I had read to you from Reb Nachman, was all about. Reb Nachman, alludes to this, and further on in this particular Torah, he will get more into the ideas that we will be talking about right now. But since we only have 4 sessions, and we want to really cut through a little bit, we want to go ahead and bypass some of the wonderful concepts that are in this lesson anyway, in order to be able to get to this particular point, which is this idea of man's capability of being able to reach beyond that of the malachim, the moshel of ma adam v'teidoyim. What is man? In other words, that's exactly it. It's not a question. It's ma is ma. Ma is Adam v'teidoyim, that you should know him. In other words, that's what God understands and knows and has created. Is this Adam, which has the capability, which has the potential of being able to develop to such a degree as to reach all the way to this stage of ma, of what beyond everything else. Moshe, the name Moshe, Mem, Shin, Hey, is made up of Shin, okay, Shin Yud Nun, the 3, which is the collective consciousness and intellect of the Avot, plus Ma, Moshe. That's Moshe, which is beyond the Avos altogether. And this is what comes down to all is the Chochmah, the Koach of Ma. And that's what we are ultimately bidden to attempt to that. Tzarich kol echad lirot sheyavo lezeh hatachlis. Every Jew is bidden to see that he tries to reach this objective, this destiny. Sheyelo memshala al malachim, that he has memshala over the malachim. Tzorich lishmor atzmo ma'od v'lirot sheyelo koach la'amod b'memshala zu. He has to be very careful to ensure, okay, that he is capable, that he has the potential and the strength, using the koach in both senses of the world, in order to sustain and maintain this memshala shelo yikanu bo malachei ashoras vayapilu, so that the malachim do not become jealous of him, envious of him, and seek to depose him. Okay, now we would understand that since the malachim are not real beings, that they are not material beings, that they are forces, agents of a Kadosh Baruch Hu in terms of their nature. The notion of being envious and deposing man, okay, is not something that would be applicable, to them. But it's this notion that it would appear that the attainment of ma, and the maintenance of that attainment, of that achievement, is something which is very, very tenuous, very, very difficult. It's something which is not as substantial in terms of a grasp, in terms of being able to grab onto it, as something within the physical realm. I'm talking about knowledge within the physical realm itself. It's something which is very difficult, and we're very easily knocked off that perch in terms of what it is that we can achieve. The malachim are very jealous about such a person, who has this rulership, this dominion over them. Like we've seen that the rabbis have said, that there have been many gedolim that the ministering angels have sought to depose, to cast away. Okay, now, before we go on to this next particular part, I want to go back now to the Reb Nachman, in Hilchos Tisha B'Av of Tanya, in Hilchos Tisha B'Av in Tanya. I believe that we do not have this available for us to look at. I do not believe that we have this available. Okay, if we did, then I'd be able to go ahead and call it up, but I don't believe we do. All right, so if we don't have it, I will again read relevant, particular parts of this that are most concerning. Okay, good. Now you remember, I'm going to ask you to remember a little bit of what we discussed last week, of the great midrash of Moshe Rabbeinu going up on high to receive the Torah, and of course the ministering angels inquiring of him, what does basar v'dam, what does flesh and blood really have to do amongst us? Kodesh, they said to a Kodesh Baruch Hu, you place your glory above the heavens. In other words, we're much closer to this glory that is your Torah than man is. So what is it? Why is it that man is actually coming up to receive the Torah? So let me go ahead and go into to this Reb Nachman. I love this Reb Nachman. It's just absolutely wonderful, and I want to go into it and explain it a little bit, because it gives us a better understanding of what this ma is all about. Okay, so he says that the following is the case. He says, "V'zehu ma'alat ha'adam al kol ha'malachim," and this is the level, the distinction of man over and above the malachim. Machmat she'adam hu ba'olam ha'shafah hazeh b'mkom v'rechokim ka'ele, that man, by virtue of him being in this low world, okay, in these places that are far and distant, shetzarich b'chol pam litain eitzel nafsha, is in need of continuously being given to receive Eitzah, advice, guidance for himself to save himself. Mishetev mayim rabim shel zeh ha'olam, from the rushing waters of this world, which are running up to drown him. And he says, V'zeh ma'alat balei tshuva shegdolim mitzadikim gemurim. He says, and this also is the distinction of balei tshuva, who are greater than complete tzaddikim. Why? Machmas shenitrachaku kol kach, because of the fact that they were so far removed from everything, from Kiddusha, from Torah, from any of these things. Al kain, therefore, says Rav Nachman, tzrichin eitzot amukot gdolot biyoter. Therefore, man needs these great, these deep, these profound eitzot, guides, advices, significantly so, kedeshi yashuvu mimkomos migunim ke'ela, that he's able to effectively remove himself from these despicable places, ucheshizochen lezeh, and when he actually merits this, able to achieve this, ma'alosim yikara v'sogva ma'od etzlo yizbarach. He says that his distinction then is very precious and dear by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ki rak b'shvil zeh yorad ha'adam lezeh olam. Only because of this did man descend into this world. B'shvil nisayon hazeh. This very test, this barrier, this test, lirot im yien nimshach acher eitzot tovot amitiot. He's able to see if he's able to be drawn after these truthful, these beneficial eitzot, latzil atzmo mimashet tzorch linotzel, in order to save himself from that from which he needs saving. Ki ikar shleimut hachachma hi ha'etza. This is a point. Ikar shleimus hachachma hi ha'etza. The essential perfection of chachma is the etza. The etza does not mean in here a piece of advice. Let me give you a word of advice. Let me go ahead and give you a beneficial. It doesn't mean that. The eitzah is the path. The eitzah is the guidance, is the direction, and Reb Nachman calls it the shleimus hachachma. It is the shleimus of chachma. The chachma that he's talking about is the chachma, the sviradic chachma, the perfection of the chachma, of the supernal chachma, is the eitzah of olam hazeh. I'll say that again. The perfection of the supernal chachma is the eitzah, as he calls it, of olam hazeh. Ve'ikarhu ha'eitzot ha'mitiot shiatzlich al yodam lenetzach. And the basic, the most fundamental of the truthful eitzot are those via which man is able to achieve good fortune and to succeed lenetzach, forever, eternal success. Shiatzlich al yodam lenetzach, by means of these eitzot to achieve eternal success. But alkein lo nosan Hashem yizbarach hasator lamalochim ki im lanu b'nei Yisrael. That's the reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not give the Torah to the malachim, but only to us, b'nei Yisrael. Machmas sho'anu b'zeh olam hashafal hagashmi shesham tzrichen eitzot harbe. By virtue of the fact that we are in this low world, this material world, where we require these eitzot, many of them. Shezehu bechinat klal haTorah, shenikrat eitzot. He says, and this, in fact, is the aspect of klal haTorah, of the entirety of Torah, which is called eitzah. Another name for Torah is eitzah. Bechinat taryag atin dioraisa, the aspect of the 613 advices, guidances of the Torah. V'zeh sheheshiv Moshe lemalachim she'omer sheyitain lohem haTorah, and this is what Moshe retorts to the malachim, who said to him that they should be given the Torah, not him. Asher t'nahot chol al hashemayim, is a Kadosh Baruch Hu placed his glory above all of the Shemaim. So they are these supernal beings way beyond man. It should them, they are the ones who deserve the Torah. Heshiv lehem, Moshe retorts to them. L'mitzrayim yiradatem, l'fara nishtabadatem, Torah lama tehelachem. Did you descend into Egypt? Did you go down to Egypt? Were you enslaved to Paro? The answer is no, of course not. Torah lama tehelachem. What does Torah have to do with you? Shuv ksiv ba. Further, it's written in the Torah, Lo yelcha elokim acherim beino amim atem sheruyim bo. He says, you shall not have any other gods from amongst the nations where you dwell. Masa umatan yesh v'nechem. Do you have business dealing amongst you? Says Moshe. Kinu yesh v'nechem, yetzer hara yesh v'nechem. Do you have yetzer hara amongst you? You don't have it. You're not material beings. Miyad hodu lo la kadosh baruch hu. Immediately, the malachim agreed with the Kadosh Baruch Hu that the Torah should be given to man. Kamosha Omer Chazal, but Perak Rabbi Akiva, like the rabbi said in Perak Rabbi Akiva in Gemara and Shabbos, the lechura kasha, and Rav Nosson says like this. He says, but this is there's an apparent question, an obvious question, right from the very beginning. My kosovra hamalachim. What was in the mind of the malachim right from the very beginning that they should ask that the Torah be given to them? I mean, didn't they realize that there is no mitzvah that actually has any relevance to them, amongst them? This is Rav Nosson answers. The main mistake of the malachim, shesavru sheikar haTorah hi hachachma v'haseichel haniflo sheyesh bo. They thought that the main component, the main aspect of Torah is the chachma, is the seichel niflo, is the wondrous intellect that exists within it. That's the reason why they said that they should be given the Torah. That they should be revealed to them the wondrous chachmos that are in the Torah. Because that's also, without question, relevant and related to the malachim. They are pure intellect. Ki chachmas haTorah yecholim lilmod afilu mi she'einu roy l'kaimam, because the chachma of Torah is able to be learned, able to be taught, even to one who is not actually fit to fulfill it. Ki b'chol mitzvah b'chol teva v'osha l'Torah kedosha yesh b'chachma kedosha amuka ma'od, because every dot, every letter, every word of the Torah, of the Holy Torah, has within it this holy wisdom, this holy depth of wisdom. And it was this chachma, this profound holy chachma, that the malachim knew was able for them to be learned, and it was applicable to them. Al Ken Shalu, Sheyitain Lem Torah. That's the reason why they asked that the Torah be given to them. Kisovru sheyicholim lekabel chochmas Torah, afal pi she'enum ru'im l'kaimon. They thought that they would be able to receive the chochmas of the Torah, even if they were not fit to fulfill it. Hey shiv lahem Moshe. Moshe retorts back to them, Lemitzrayim yiradetem. Did you descend down to Egypt? Lafara nishtabadtem. Were you enslaved to Pharaoh? Hainu shigilu lahem. Those questions were Moshe's means of revealing to them she'ikar amkus chochmas haTorah hu ha'etzos shemkablen mehen, that the essential depths of wisdom of the Torah are the etzot, which are received from them. V'ha'ikar b'madregos ha'tachtonos ma'od ba'omek ha'galut shal b'chinat paro mitzrayim shekolim kol ha'goliyot. And the essence, the essential benefit, the essential integration of Torah is in these lowest of levels, in the depth of exile, the aspect of Paro, Mitzrayim, which effectively is the epitome of all of the exiles that Israel would face within its entire history. Ki ein shum chochma nechsheves ki im kishaboim le'etzu shleim al yoda. There is no such thing as wisdom except that which brings to a complete and full etzah by means of it. Va'afilu chochmas haTorah kedosha sherak hihi ha'chochma amitit. And even these chochmas of the Holy Torah, which in of itself is pure, true chochma, he ein chochmasa nechshevet ki im kishezochin lekabel etzo shlema al yoda. This also does not reach, it does not achieve its level, its being as absolute chochma, unless and until it is received by those who need the etzah, and by means of it, yatzlich al yoda lenetzach, are able to achieve an eternal success. Ki lo hamidrashu ha'ikar elo hamasa. Because midrash, learning, is not the essence, as it says in Pirkei Avot, elo hamasa, but the action, and that's not just a very, very nice aphorism. Va'al kein nikreit haTorah etzah. That's the reason why Torah is called etzah. Ki ikar haTorah sheyizka al yoda le'etzot shlemut latzlicha yoda lenetzach. Because the essence of Torah is that the learner and the performer of it would merit by means of it to come to these perfected etzot via which one is able to achieve eternal success. V'zeh ikar tachlas shleimus amkus chochmos toraseinu gedosha. And that is the essence, the basic purpose, the end, the purpose of the perfection, of the depth of the chochmos of our holy Torah. V'al kein omar la malachim. That's the reason Moshe says to the malachim, Eich atem yachodim liskot lechochmos haTorah. How are you able, malachim? How are you able to merit, to attain the chochmos of the Torah, because of the fact, by virtue of the fact that you have not gone down into Egypt. You've not been enslaved to Pharaoh. There isn't a Yetzer Hara amongst you. There is no business, maso matan. You don't know. You've never tasted. Einatem yodim tam meriros agalos begashmus ruchonius. You've never tasted the bitterness of the exile in its materiality and its lack of spirituality, that man, the helpless, beleaguered man who is pursued in this world experiences. Bifrat, betokif merirus hagolos, specifically, the force and the power of the bitterness of the galut. It's only man who requires all of this Torah with all of the depths of the Eitzot, which are the 613 mitzvahs, in order that he should be able, by means of them, lekabel Eitzot mitzadike emes. He's able to then receive the Eitzot from the tzadikim, lahatzil atzmo b'zeha olam magashmi shishom daika tzrichin Eitzot amukus b'chol pam. Okay, let's understand. What is it that Rav Nosson, what is Rav Nosson explaining to us? Okay, Rav Nosson goes through this lengthy discussion of explaining, first of all, what the question of the Malachim was all about. What was it? What was in their head? Of course, they couldn't fulfill the Torah. So, what is it that they have in their minds for asking that the Torah is more relevant to them than it is to man? Okay, that's number one. Number two, the answers, in the questions that Moshe has relayed to them. Did you go into exile? Were you enslaved to Paro? Did you have a temptation to be drawn after the gods of other nations amongst whom you were pushed out and exiled? Do you have business? Do you have Yetzer Hara? All of those kinds of things, which of course require the Eitzot of the Torah to help man achieve his ultimate and eternal success. The question that I ask of you, and it's something to think about, because I do think that he's telling us something which is extremely profound. What is the point, of all of this? What is the point? Does anybody have an idea? Would anybody venture an explanation over there? Would anybody do that for me, or should I just go ahead and be a party pooper and just tell you that myself? I will if I have to. Okay, well, I will then. What Rav Nosson is saying over here is that the Malachim for sure are pure intellect. They are pure intellect. And pure intellect exists certainly within the Torah. And in a very, very basic way, the Torah is composed of absolute supernal wisdom of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And they, of course, are relevant in terms of the learning of this. Okay? But that's not the point. The question is, have you gone into exile? Have you been enslaved to Paro? Do you have to grapple with the issues of Avodah Zarah and the temptations of them? Do you have to go ahead and know how to properly, ethically, and morally deal in business? Do you have a Yetzer? All of those things. What Rav Nosson is explaining is the following: is that the Torah itself, this supernal wisdom, truly attains its ultimate, not only its purpose, but its efficacy and its true meaning via the refractory process of the physical created world. That's what he's saying. That's why they're called Eitzot. In other words, is that the pure wisdom that exists within in the Torah, the most profound of the wisdom, still finds its true relevance in juxtaposition to the physical world. Okay. So what he's saying over here is that ultimately the Torah is an integrative type of wisdom. It's not just the pure ultimate intellect, okay, of which, of course, the malachim would be certainly applicable. It would be applicable to them. That's true. But what he's saying is that the Torah is also experiential in nature. Wisdom, chokhmah, is not only just pure intellect, but it's also experiential. The tam of the bitterness. Have you tasted the tam? The tam of the merirut hagalut, of the bitterness of the exile. Do you know what it means? Do you understand what it means to effectively be uprooted and to go to another nation for whatever purposes? They could be socio-economic, as they may have been in the case of Am Yisrael going into Egypt. But then again, do you know what's involved with that, with all of that? You understand what economic adversity is all about. Do you understand the socio-economic ramifications of economic adversity? Do you understand what it's like to lose your human rights, not only your civil rights, but human rights in the process of being enslaved? All of these things are not just pure intellectual. And not only that, the intellect interfaces with this experiential, with this psycho-emotional knowledge that is gained, that is gleaned, that is effectively in this mixture together with the pure chokhmah of the Torah. All of this goes to the heart of what Rav Nachman is saying, is that the Torah reaches its true highest epistemological levels of knowledge. In other words, epistemology is levels of knowledge, okay? At its highest level that it attains is within the physical world, not in the purely intellectual world of the malachim. So as a result of that, man has the capability of being able to achieve a level of knowledge, of understanding of Torah, okay, that the malachim certainly do not. They certainly do not, which also bespeaks of a certain concept of the makeup of man. Man is intellect, that is for sure. It may not be the absolute most powerful intellect in terms of comparison to the malachim, but man is also physical. Man is emotional. Man has the intuition, has all of these other aspects that come from different parts of his components, okay, which gives him the capability of being able to react on an integrative basis with that Torah, and in the process reach an understanding of Torah that is of a higher level than the malachim, and in turn, as a result of that, be able to receive from the Torah the eitzah which man is needs in this world in order to be able to achieve his ultimate success, his eternal success. The Torah is refracted by the physical world. Okay, the true knowledge of the Torah comes into being in juxtaposition to the physical, to the material world, to human experience on all different types of level, the admixture of the two, of all of this, okay, yields an epistemological level that is higher than pure intellect of the malachim. It's an amazing idea that he has over here. A Torah is not achieved in an ivory tower. That's what he is saying. It's not. It's not. The one that is cut off from human experience, human interaction, okay, is not capable of really understanding what the Torah is all about, and not able to really grasp the true depths that exist within the Torah. Do you know what it's like to try to maintain and to understand, what it means to have one God when you're in a place that is filled with avodah zarah of others? Do you know what's involved with that? Do you understand the pulls and tugs that are upon you? Do you know what you have to grapple with in that, and being able to maintain one's balance? All of that. It's not just something which is a good thing to do. You kept to this path as opposed to other. It's not. It's that being involved with that culture, those cultures, enables that to integrate into the Torah, so that the Torah actually yields an epistemology that's higher than what otherwise would have been. Again, whether it's socioeconomic, whether it's human rights, whether it's on civil rights, whether it's in emotion, whether it is in all aspects, environmental pools or things of that sort, whatever it is, the interaction that the chokhmah, the profound chokhmah of Torah has with the physical creative world yields a knowledge base that is higher than even that of the malachim. And that's the reason is that man has the memshalah over the malachim. In other words, we have the capability of having the memshalah, being able to achieve this highest levels of human understanding. Okay? But it's not so easy, and it's not necessarily guaranteed. We'll look forward next week, the next two lessons, as Reb Nachman goes forward on pages 10 and 11, V'ha'etzo al zeh lekasher atzmo in nishmos Yisrael ve'al yedei ha'hitkashrut nitzol. The Eitzah, now we have the notion of the Eitzah. The Eitzah automatically is the Torah, the wisdom of the Torah. Whether that is the pure wisdom of the Torah or that's the wisdom of the Torah coming through the tzaddikim. Nevertheless, the Eitzah is to bind oneself with Nishmos Yisrael, with the collective soul of Israel. And via this binding to the collective soul of Israel, one is able to further, again, guard himself from this possibility of being dethroned from this lofty level of memshalah over the malachim. Thank you very much. I wish everybody a very, very good week, and hope that Elul is going along well for all. Thank you very much.